Welcome back to CineBolt. With a diverse selection of frightening films to set your pulse racing, 2024 promises a chilling start to the year. Some of these movies will be releasing in theaters while others will be available on streaming services and VOD. So from haunted swimming pools to chilling mysteries, here are the best horror movies coming out in January of 2024. Releasing on New Year's Day is The Mummy Murders, a mystery horror film written and directed by Colin Bressler. The main story centers on Alexis, a reporter for a San Antonio news station whose life is disrupted by a string of disappearances. But as Alexis delves into the mystery, she uncovers unsettling truths that go way beyond her expectations. Next is Night Swim, which is a supernatural horror film written and directed by Bryce McGuire and scheduled for release in theaters on January 5, 2024. The story begins when former baseball player Ray Waller is forced into early retirement by a degenerative illness and relocates with his family to a new home. The property boasts a backyard swimming pool which they envisioned as both a source of fun for the children and physical therapy for Ray. However, a hidden secret from the house's past emerges, unleashing a sinister force that threatens to engulf the family. The next horror film on the list is They Turned Us Into Killers, which delves into the story of Karma, a young woman who, after a traumatic incident involving her boyfriend BJ, tragically takes her own life. Prior to this devastating event, she writes a letter to her best friend, Star, detailing the horrific events that unfolded that fateful night. In a gripping tale of revenge, Star confronts BJ and his brothers, exacting retribution with a haunting twist. The film is set to hit VOD platforms on January 9, 2024. Premiering on the streaming platform Shudder on January 12th is Destroy All Neighbors, a dark horror comedy that follows aspiring prog rock musician William Brown, who struggles to overcome writer's block. But his tormentor isn't a bad case of stage fright, but his loud and eccentric neighbor, Vlad. A tense confrontation turns disastrous as William inadvertently causes Vlad's demise, but to his horror, he soon discovers this is just the first domino in a chain of increasingly chaotic and undead-filled events, as his path to musical stardom takes a hilariously horrifying detour. Another horror movie coming out on the same day on VOD is Laced. The film is set in a remote cabin on the evening of a record-breaking blizzard, where a tense struggle unfolds between a woman and her abusive husband. Driven to desperate measures, she seeks to escape their toxic relationship through a perilous plan, but her attempt backfires, forcing her to improvise and evade her husband's growing suspicion. But when a surprise guest arrives, the fragile balance of their lives teeters on the brink and threatens to unravel their carefully constructed web of deceit. Releasing on Amazon Prime and other VOD platforms on January 16th is a bloody Korean horror movie titled The Human Trap. The film centers on a group of teenagers whose weekend camping trip takes a dark turn. Whisked away to a secluded medical facility, they find themselves trapped in the clutches of a deranged doctor and his assistant who plans to conduct horrifying experiments on them, leading them into a desperate fight for survival against unimaginable horrors. Next is a supernatural horror film titled The Unsettling, which is set to hit theaters on January 18th, followed by a VOD release on February 10th. The main story follows a Ghanaian couple, Abina and Kwame, who embark on a vacation to Los Angeles seeking solace after a devastating loss, but their escape takes a sinister turn when they become entangled with a malevolent presence within their rented house. When they meet two estranged friends in Los Angeles to seek help, Abina encounters an evil spirit that terrorizes her by trapping her in a nightmare from which she wishes to escape in the first place. Another theatrical release set for January 26th is The Seeding, a horror thriller directed by Barnaby Clay. Lost in a desolate canyon, infrequent hiker Wyndham Stone stumbles upon Alina, a woman who's made the unforgiving desert her unwilling home. Their precarious existence takes a sinister turn when they realize they're under the watchful eye of unseen captors. With their survival hinging on the whims of their unseen adversaries, Stone must find a way to break free from this suffocating routine before the desert claims not just their freedom, but their sanity. And finally, releasing on January 31st is the French horror film Pandemonium. The movie embarks on a dark journey alongside Nathan, a man whose life takes a shocking turn after a fateful car crash. Waking up in the depths of hell, Nathan finds himself confronted with a harrowing reality, where he must navigate the torment of innumerable tortured souls, some consumed by their monstrous pasts beyond hope of redemption. But as he grapples with his own fate, a haunting question lingers. Is he one of them, destined to eternal suffering? Or is his presence in this infernal landscape a grave error? That's all I've got for today, and thank you for watching this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our new videos recommending you the best movies and series to watch right now.